Mayor Gina Ortiz Jones finds herself once again at odds with her fellow council members. A memo signed by 5 council members places the mayor at risk of censure. San Antonio Current writer Michael Karlis joined us in studio to just give us details about how we got here. Quickly remind our viewers what exactly a censure is.
Right, so she's not being censured yet. There's a 5-signature memo that was submitted to launch an investigation into her conduct, and then depending on the results of that investigation, then council can move forward with a censure vote. Now, a censure vote doesn't really do much in terms of actually limiting her power. It's more just kind of like a public reprimand for everyone to say or tell Mayor Jones to knock it off and lead differently and give people a little bit more respect as a mayor.
You mentioned the phrase conduct. What exactly are you referencing to? How did we get here?
That's a loaded question, right? Okay, there was a meeting last week about the Bonham Exchange, which was a nightclub that they were proposing closing because it wasn't up to fire code. Sook Corps had introduced a memo to discuss a possible extension to allow the Bonham Exchange time to get up to code. What Mayor Jones and the city attorney's office basically did was went behind everybody's back and struck their own deal with the owner of that nightclub. So while this meeting was going on, according to my sources, there was a conversation, a private conversation between Jones and Corps, in which that's all I can confirm for now. I've heard that Mayor Jones cussed out Corps, but I've also heard that it was just kind of a loud argument. There's a lot of different varying stories from people who either overheard the conversation or were there and witnessed it. So it's hard to say what exactly happened. However, the details of that conduct should come out during the investigation over the next 2 weeks.
Right, a private conversation, so it wasn't out in public eye, but it does kind of sound alarming, the fact that we're seeing 5 of the women all signing this memo. What do you think this means in terms of her peer evaluation?
Look, I'm not sure this memo and this attempt to censure Mayor Jones will play out as some people think it might. If Mayor Jones did something similar to Mario Bravo, who publicly cussed out his ex-girlfriend during a public meeting in front of everybody, then that might be grounds for a censure. If Mayor Jones brought up a personal attack against Corps' race, religion, parents or kids, something like that, then yes, that's absolutely out of line. But if this was more just like a heated political discussion, and some people saw it as an opportunity to take things a step further due to past events, because as we know, we had the CCR fight, the argument with Spurs Jesus, the pet dumping ordinance, right? There's been so many things that people saw this as an opportunity to finally take action. But if it comes out that this was just a loud argument, some people might look a little silly. And one person who didn't sign that memo, which is a big sign of what this may be, is that Mark White didn't sign that memo. And Mark White has been publicly almost embarrassed on the dais by Mayor Jones. And I think that may be because, although people have some opinions about Mark White, he's not as goofy as some people think he is, and he said, yeah, this could backfire. I might stay out of this, but you guys, you know, good luck to y'all.
So for those who may consider this a breaking point for City Council, you're digressing from that statement.
Well, we're going to have to see what the investigation says, but if there's an investigation and it's not as bad as what Bravo did, or it wasn't a personal, very out-of-line attack, then people might say, this is just a dumpster fire. This was maybe out of line. You know, if you can't take the heat, don't go into politics.
That's true. And we are still less than a year into Gina Ortiz Jones' mayorship. As you mentioned, this is not one of the first incidents where there has not been agreement between her and her peers. What damage do you see this doing for possibly the rest of her term?
I was thinking about this last night. I don't know if it'll have such an impact on her term as much as her other political aspirations. So if she ever runs for Congress or state rep or governor or wherever she wants to end up, because I feel very confident she wants to end up somewhere else, this will be played on attack ads. That she was censured during her first year as mayor of San Antonio, and that's something that she will probably have to deal with for the rest of her political career.
All right, Michael Karlis, thank you as always for joining us and keeping myself and the viewers updated on all city council events.
It's great to be here.
I'm Atiana San Miguel. Thank you for watching our story. If you'd like to see more like it, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Also, be sure to watch us weekday mornings at 7 and 11 a.m. on KCWX. Bye. See you on the next one.